Hello and good morning to another training session here within Gemma's wonderful Facebook group. So I hope you all had a good week. I've had a lovely week. I started off feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, using these strategies, exactly these strategies that I'm going to share with you today, is how I've actually reduced and actually got myself back out of that state, because this is the thing. So what I'm going to be talking to you today about is how to build mental resilience for business. So when I first realized that my mental resilience was the problem, was when I was struggling massively. Hello Gemma, hello my lovely. Yeah, so struggling massively in my business. It just felt so hard. I was like, why do I need to do this? I'm just, I'm a good person, or I'm a hard worker. But I just seemed to be not getting anywhere. And I realized that my mental resilience was something that was actually what needed attention. So thinking about, those internal conversations. So mental resilience is about being able to kind of almost step out of yourself a little bit. And what I found I was doing was having all these ridiculous conversations over and over and over in my head, beating myself up, criticizing myself, telling myself all these ridiculous things, and it just sent me in a cycle. Having a fixed mindset is another way to describe low mental resilience. Having a growth mindset is how we describe mental resilience. So there's lots of different ways to look at it. And actually attended a training session yesterday. So I've been having a really good week. I'd planned everything before Christmas for my business, and took a really, really big, massive step back, because I needed it, because I wanted it. That was the thing. But what I realised was this week, because I knew it was going to be hard getting back into it. That motivation after Christmas or after a break or a holiday. But I didn't realise just how hard it was going to be. Not because I didn't know what to do, but because I was overthinking what I'd already done. So my trigger, okay, so this is where we know we might be struggling with our mental resilience, is when certain things trigger us. And for me, it's a story that says, well, that was too easy. That didn't hurt at all. There must be more that I can do. So I have a very strong core drive to over deliver. It comes from, yeah, trying to keep up, trying to prove myself at a younger age. Low self-esteem triggers those sort of things. Whilst I don't consider myself to have low self-esteem now, those stories still exist. So I have this driver to over deliver all the time. So when I get something done, and I like learning as well, so business is all about learning. We learn how to get better at business. That business doesn't get easier. We just learn how to do it better. And so this trigger sort of went off, and it was about, I was overthinking what I'd already done. So I started to follow a pattern I've done in the past, and started to redo things I'd already done. So my goal for this year is to do less and less and less, as in only do the effective stuff, only show up for the fun stuff, and to not be slogging away, because we can become our own worst enemy when it comes to this. So let me ask you this. So how does business feel for you right now? Do you feel like you're slogging away at it? Or does it feel like it's easy and that you're able to step back, and does it feel effortless? Because whilst we can be aiming for effortless and effective, we can actually be our own worst enemy. And that's certainly what I was doing to myself this week. So I attended an amazing training session yesterday, and whilst I would offer that it's information I know, and that's when we know we're in the right place, when we go, oh, should have known that. I already know that. Yeah, that's when you know it's getting into you. That's when you know it's having an effect. Okay. So I attended a session, and within like the first 3 minutes, bearing in mind, hi Sam, morning. Bearing in mind, I wrote this months ago. I've done this presentation, this training, like probably 4 times in this group. even though I know these things, yeah, I had this a huge aha moment when I thought, well, that's what I'm doing. I need to break that cycle. I'm overthinking, and I need to follow my own advice, really. And I noticed through that training that it was my over delivering story that was being triggered, because it had all felt like, it was all starting to work. Yeah, so the biggest struggles happen when it starts to go right. I don't want to scare you guys, but truly, that's when you actually will experience the biggest wobbles. But embrace it, okay? Know that you have the right support, and with these tools that I'm going to share with you in a moment, you will have everything you need to be able to manage that wobble and keep going and level up, okay? So Gemma's saying, whilst I'm working hard to push it, I feel it's a lot easier because I've got the plan in place. I'm really loving being back at it. Yes, that's the thing, we love it, don't we? So I was really excited when I came back this week. I was like, ooh, but I didn't have a lot of clients. For one reason or another, I only had a couple of clients this week, so it was quite an easy week, and I was like, right, what do I need to do? So I started redoing stuff I'd already done. Yeah, so we need to be mindful of that busy driver, don't we? Hello, Caroline, how are you? Morning. Yes, we need to be really, really mindful of that busy driver that's just going to make us, so what I should, there was a million things I could have been doing. I haven't done, I've got filing I could be doing. I've got cleaning I could have been doing. Yeah, it's all sorts of stuff. But instead I chose to keep second guessing my plan. Thankfully that has gone. So what we need is a pattern interrupt. This is what stops us from going into that overthinking. So for me, it's the message, the story. What more can I do? And planning is often a place in my business where I second guess myself. Sometimes social media as well. Social media is a huge trigger for a lot of people, and it's okay, and it's very common to be absolutely nailing it in many aspects of life and business, but to find that there is just a one particular place where you always seem to be triggered. For many, it's selling. That visibility, showing up, making the sale, talking in a salesy way, asking people for money. That's often a trigger for many people. Yeah, so for me, I have all my internal struggles in private. Okay, so what we need is a pattern interrupt. So when we're struggling, what we tend to do is we have crappy, shitty conversations with ourselves. We start telling ourselves, we start blaming ourselves. Okay, so this isn't working. Competing often triggers us to beat ourselves up and blame ourselves. Why am I not as good as that person? I'm never going to be able to do that. We tell ourselves all sorts of really crappy things, stuff we would never say to anybody else, but we really easily say it to ourselves, and we become in a loop, which is why we need to break that loop and break that cycle. So we rely too much on others, so it then starts to create, so the stories then create ineffective behaviours. So we then start to look outside of ourselves for answers. We start to rely on other people to give us the solution. That's when we start buying things we don't need, buying into courses that promise that they will be the answer to our problems, and some are, I promise, some are, but we don't think it through. So we create these behaviours where we're not looking inside of ourselves to actually ask ourselves what we really need or want. We just sort of look out externally, and it's a kind of a very blame energy. So we ignore advice. We can't hear the good stuff. That was certainly something I experienced. I was so consumed with my own shitty stories and the conversations in my own head that I literally couldn't hear, what needed to be done. There was a tiny part of me that was saying, seriously, Abby, you know this stuff, you're a coach, stop, love, take a breath. But I couldn't hear it, and I couldn't, it stopped me from engaging with the right people and the right advice. So we live unfulfilled lives, which sounds a bit harsh, I know, but we can often business can feel unfulfilling. We put so much time and energy and effort into it, a lot of invest a lot of time and money into our businesses, and if we don't get the rewards, when we feel hugely unfulfilled. You know, often Gemma and I, when we're talking to clients, and they say, oh, I hate social media. Well, do you know what? If you were getting 5 clients a week and earning a shit ton of money from it, you wouldn't hate it. So what you're saying is social media is not fulfilling the need or the purpose that you want it to fulfill. So there's ways to change that. Okay, so we lose out on money, we waste time, we waste energy, and at worst we give up. And this is the thing, and I've seen it many times. I've certainly been there myself, and it's like, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. I can't live with no money. I can't live with the constant unfulfilled feeling, the feeling of failure, because it's hard, whilst we embrace failure, we can learn from it. It's hard work if you're failing every day. So this is it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my 3 top mindset tips. So these are tools. So, pattern interrupters, mindset tools, whatever you want to call them. These are my top 3 for breaking that cycle and becoming your best business asset, because many of us are doing this alone. Whilst I offer you need to connect with the right people, many of us spend a lot of time sat at home in our own company, and it's not always good. So if you're going to be doing this alone, so my clients have me to do this. They have me to call them out on their bullshit, to keep them accountable. So every week or every month, whatever, they engage with a person or an activity that creates these pattern interrupts for them. Okay. If you don't have a coach, if you don't engage with coaching, you can do this for yourself. Okay, you can absolutely begin this process for yourself. So it's basically like a metaphorical slap around the face. Okay, so if you find yourself struggling, if you're overthinking, if you're telling yourself shitty stories, okay, the first thing you need to do is get clarity. So we need to get clear on what you actually want to begin with. Okay, so what it is that you actually want to achieve. And I was reminded of this yesterday in the training. Yes, start with the end in mind. Okay, so if you're finding yourself on a loop and you're going with confusion, okay, start at the end and work backwards. So decide what the outcome is that you need, what you need to achieve, what's the goal, what's the end game. Okay, and then work the steps back. Because if you try and work the steps forward, your brain is going to go, oh yeah, but how are we going to do that? Your brains are going to go, yeah, but what if this happens? But how much is that going to cost? And yeah, it's going to just throw up lots of like shitty objections. Okay, but if you work backwards, don't ask me how or why, but your brain doesn't seem to throw up the same objections. Okay, so get clarity. So in your brain, get clarity on where you need to be, what you want to do, and what the end goal is. Okay, and that's for something that you want to achieve in 12 months or in 12 minutes. Okay, we can sit in a loop of confusion, just trying not to post on social media. Oh, should I say this? Should I say that? What did that person say I should do? Oh, yeah, but someone else. Yeah, okay. You can use this process in like 2 minutes, okay, or in 12 months. Okay, so the next step is confidence. Okay, so your confidence sits in your gut, believe it or not. Your gut is the thing that says whether you will or won't take action or do something. Your gut remembers all the mistakes you've made, and your gut is actually the one that's firing up all those shitty stories, and that's the reason why we call them shitty stories. I know that's a bit graphic, but it's actually true. Your gut is the one going, no. Okay, all right, so your uniqueness, your credibility, your USP, your backstory is where you will find your confidence. Confidence is not in front of you, it's actually kind of behind you, because what we need to do is we need to tap into what we've already done, what we already know, in order to be able to use those tools to move forward. So checking in with, yeah, so what have I done before? Have I been here before? Have we had this conversation already? How did I overcome this last time? What did I do? What did I ask? Where did I go? You know, if we know we've already done something before, and we're very good at forgetting, this is the thing, we're very good at consciously, your gut remembers it, but consciously we forget what we've already done and what we already know. So we need to take time to actually tap into that and remember it. Okay, remind your gut that you can actually do this. Okay, and the third one is connection. So connection sits in your heart. Okay, so we connect with our core values, we connect with what we find joyful, when we connect with other people. So this is the thing, we need to be tapping into what we value, what behaviours we use, you know, things that make us joyful, because if you want consistency, and that's what we actually need, what's going to make this feel fun, if every time you go to do something you go, oh, that's going to be fun. Yeah, because we look at so much of the stuff on our business as not fun. You know, if all I had to do was show up and coach and train people, I'd be having, yeah, okay, but there's a lot of other stuff you've got to do as well. You know, and most of us don't set out in business to do all the stuff on it. Yeah, we don't go, oh yeah, I love paperwork. Oh, I love, you know, putting myself through terror on social media. Oh, I love burying my soul. Yeah, no, we don't. We go, oh, okay, I want to help people, or I want to make this product, or I want to, you know, feel fun and joyful. Find the fun in it. Okay, so you do that by connecting with your core values. Find the fun in what you do. So ladies, can I ask you, ladies that are watching, where do you find the fun? Where is the fun in your business? How can you tap into it? What do you love and what do you enjoy? Where can you use that to actually to build confidence for the things that you maybe don't necessarily want to do? Okay, so when we operate at our highest self, so aligning our head, our heart and our gut is about being operating at our highest self. So at my highest self, I have no fear, no struggle. Everything is logical. I understand everything that needs to happen, and I just get on and do it. Okay, but I don't always operate at my highest self. Many of us don't. So, but when we need to overcome something, so when we align our head, our heart and our gut, we can operate and show up in a way where we're at our strongest, at our best, the best we can possibly be. So what we can do is we can compete without feeling icky about it. Selling becomes a lot easier because we're not overthinking it. All those conversations and those crappy things you say to yourself about why you shouldn't sell on social media, trust me, no one else is saying that about you, and if they are, you won't ever find out. They'll never say it to your face. All of that crappiness, all of that ick comes from inside of you. Okay, so use those 3 steps and you will get rid of that ick. You're going to have much more free time. You're going to be able to set boundaries. Mental resilience is massively about setting the right boundaries. Boundaries with people, boundaries with yourself, boundaries with your time, boundaries with social media. You know, it's all about putting things in the boxes where they belong rather than becoming overwhelmed by it. You're going to be able to stay focused, and you're going to remember why you set out to do this in the first place. Okay, and more importantly, you're going to level up your business. And get out of that struggle, because no matter how much money you want to earn, it's okay, so some people are aiming for the hundreds of thousands, okay, and some of us aren't. Okay, some of us want other things from our business. Whilst I offer we should all be making money, you decide, okay, because why you want your business is very often not about money. Okay, so mental resilience is a constant work in progress, which is why we need to connect absolutely with the right people. And by helping to develop these tools, what you will actually be able to do is to stay out of struggle, okay, and just make progress, and to actually get to where it is you need to be. Okay, so where do you need clarity, where do you need confidence, and where do you need to connect to build consistency and confidence for your business? Okay, so drop in the comments please and let me know if this has been helpful for you, and if anyone has any questions, I would by all means please leave them in the comments. and I'll be happy to come back and answer them. So ladies, please, thank you so much for being here and for joining me. It's been a pleasure. So I'm going to be hosting in the VIP on the 17th of January. I'm going to be hosting a breaking down the planning process. So planning is often a place where many of us overthink things, get overwhelmed, and yeah, it's, as I said before, it's certainly the thing that triggers me. So I've got some really easy tips again to break down that planning process and to make it just so much easier and to reduce the overwhelm. So if you're a member of the VIP, Sam, obviously, Gemma, you'll be there, but if you're not a member, you can still attend, and what I'll do is I will drop a link in the comments as well. So for £15 you can come along and attend that training session and get to see what VIP is all about. You know, you get to try before you commit. That's the thing. And if planning is a thing that you want some help with, then that session is going to be really, really useful for you. So there'll be a link in the comments. Also, if you jump on my mailing list, so if you're watching this on Instagram, for example, there won't be a link in the comments, will there? So jump on my mailing list, which is in the bio, and you'll get the link and in an email next week. Okay, so thank you ever so much for being here, ladies. I hope this has been useful for you. If you are watching on replay, please leave me a hashtag replay or a thumbs up. Have a super Friday and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.